and Drew said, "Oh, I'm in trouble and I need your money." Well, he just hung up. But the thing is, he gave them the grandson's name, Drew. So they're really good at pulling this information out of you. You've just got to be really careful. If you were walking in Safeway or down the street in downtown Tucson, and you were passing a stranger, and a stranger came up to you and said, "Give me your bank account number. Give me your social security number. Give me your credit card number." Would you do that? No. But when it's over the phone, for some reason, we're much more susceptible. And so it's not in our nature to hang up a telephone. It's just not in our nature. We're nice people. If you have to, practice it. Practice slamming that thing down. And there's a couple of ladies in town who have really had a hard time hanging up the phone. And I said, "Well, you know what? They get calls at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. It just never ends. It just never ends." I said, "Go down and get yourself a whistle and just blow it into that." And there you go. So I called her and I said, "Did you get a whistle?" And she said, "No, I was told not to. Because maybe they would sue me." I said, "Good, then we'd know who they are." Come on, bring them on. So, anyway. Remember, you have to enter a lottery to win. You have to enter to win. We had a lady come in the other day at the sheriff's office. She had won the Canadian lottery, $500,000, but she had to send $40,000 for U.S. taxes before they would send her the money. Okay, so she did. She wired it out. They called her the next day and said, "You know what? We made a mistake. You won $1 million. Woohoo! We need another $40,000. She realized that was a scam, but she lost $40,000.
Oh my goodness.
So just beware, because you get something on the email that said you won a $1,000 gift certificate from Target. You don't have to believe that. You know, or Best Buy, click here. No, please don't believe that. There was a lady in town, a baker told me this story that really she got and this is years ago, but she received a letter from Nigeria about the man that had won the lottery, but he didn't have enough money for the taxes. So she got talking to him on the phone, and she said, "After World War II, my dad was sent to Nigeria to help set up orphanages and schools. And don't you know that scuzzball just grabbed her and said, 'Oh, I went to that school,' or 'My dad went to that school,' or I was in that orphanage. Oh, I'm so grateful to your dad. And he got all of her savings. She actually took a second mortgage out on her house and lost it. She died destitute. And the banker kept saying it's a scam, but he was so good and he was so convincing that she believed it. You know, if you've got a computer, maybe you've had one of these where your friend's out of the country, he's in the UK or Manila's the latest, lost his passport, he needs $1,300 or $200, please send it now or he won't be able to leave the country. Well, what happens with that is somebody has gotten into your friend's computer. If you see something that comes up on your computer and it says, "Microsoft has detected a virus," don't you ever believe that. Microsoft has detected a virus. Click here. If you click there, it's called clickjack. It's like a hijack or a carjack. It's a clickjack. And they'll send that virus into your computer. They will mine it for all kinds of financial numbers, any kind of information like that. Then they get your email list. And that's where that email list comes from, is somebody had stolen it out of your friend's computer. And they're just sending it to everybody on that list. And, what if just one person answers? They've made some money. Microsoft, Hewlett-Packard, Dell do not solicit business. They never, never solicit business. Remember that. You have to go to them. There was a lady retired in Green Valley. She's 56 years old, retired from the military. She got married at 55 for the very first time. They moved to Green Valley, and she'd been here about 6 months. And she got caught on this Microsoft scam. And she said, I just can't believe I fell for it. And they got it for about $900 because she gave them her credit card number, banking account. She had to go do all of that. Plus, then it cost her about $400 to get the viruses out of her computer. And she said, I just can't believe I fell for it. But she said, ever since 9/11, we have been on high alert. All the time, every day, we're on high alert. And when I retired, I just thought, man, I'm retired. And she said, now I realize it's a different kind of alert I have to be on. And she said, my mind's just not there because the next day she was taking her husband, her new husband, to see whether he had dementia or Alzheimer's. So she had a lot on her mind. And that's when we're vulnerable, is when we have a lot on our mind. There was one lady that came in to our office, and she told us this story. Her cell phone had been broken for 3 days. And finally she decided to go get a new cell phone. And as she was walking out the door, her landline rang. So she picked it up, and it was her stockbroker. And he said, I've got that $15,000 transaction ready for you. She said, what are you talking about? And he said, well, the one that you emailed me on. And you told me to call your cell phone to let you know because you were out of town. You gave me the number to wire it to. And she said, oh my gosh. Her cell phone had been down for 3 days. What someone had done is gotten into her computer, and they've been watching. They've just been watching, waiting. They knew the name of her broker. They knew the brokerage. They knew her email. They knew her cell phone was down. So that's why they said, call me on my cell phone, because they knew he couldn't reach her. So be aware of that. Please have some kind of code with your broker. You know, these guys are good, and they're devious, and they're just evil, I think. So I'm not going to send you a letter that you have a refund coming. But you know what? Some people will fall for that. But it's a good way for these scammers to weed out people that they have no possibility of getting any money from. If somebody answers that, they know they're a probable, that maybe they will send some money. Any kind of mail that you get with your Medicare, all your medical things on, if you have your Medicare card anywhere on those, rip it up. Account numbers, rip it up. Bank numbers, rip it up. Make sure you guard your Social Security number, because if that gets out, that's like the keys to the kingdom. They can find anything they want to out about you. I want you to know, if you have lost money to a scammer, 20% of people over 65 have been victimized. That's huge. So if there's 50 people in here today, that's 10 people. Statistically speaking, that's 10 people. So does anybody want to raise their hand and tell us about your scam? Just a minute, I'll get you. But and those are only the ones that have been reported. So the bad guys actually have mathematical equations that they figure out percentages of which scam's the best, where to go get the best percentages of money out of the communities, and we're the target. And that's why we are doing this, is because if we could stop those hundreds of thousands of dollars leaving this community every year, and that's just what we know about. If we can lower that, maybe these bad guys will look at their mathematical equations and go someplace else that might be more profitable. That's what we're looking for. We would like you to report it to law enforcement. It's embarrassing, it's shameful, but you know what? You're not the only one out there that's been scammed. And it would give us better stats. Last year, I read in a magazine, in 2011, $30 billion went to Jamaica. Jamaica alone And these guys are all over the world, so there's a lot of money leaving this country. And one of the first cases that I went out on, one of the first reports I had to do was get the date of birth from a lady. Because when we take a report at the SAV, if you don't put the date of birth in, then it doesn't go through the Pima County Sheriff's data system. That's one thing we have to have is the date of birth. Well, somebody who took this report forgot to get the date of birth, so I called this lady to get her date of birth, and she told me, she said about 3 months before, she'd gotten a call from her grandson. "Oh, Grandma, I was going to Canada, and I picked up these 2 hitchhikers, and they had a backpack, and they put them in the trunk, and when I went across the Border Patrol opened it up, and they opened their backpacks, and there was marijuana in there, they had drugs, and now I'm picked up for drugs, and I'm totally innocent. Please don't call my parents, you know, it's just awful, I need this money right this minute, please." And she did. But then she found out, she called later, after she had sent the money, she found out that no, that wasn't the truth. So this is about 3 months later, and she gets another call, and it's from Ralph. And he said, "Remember in high school when you and these 10 other girls got together and you signed a pact that if anything happened to you throughout your life, you would always be there to help one another?" Well, she knew it was a scam. She just hung it up. And that story is to let you know that if you got scammed once and you gave them money, you actually go on what they call a sucker's list. It's a sucker's list, and that's what they call it. And they will sell your name. It's like selling your name, magazines do. And they will sell your name to another gang, and another gang, and another gang. And then you're going to get maybe a week later, a month later, 2 months later, a year later. They're going to hit you with something else because they know you're on the top of your computer. Well, I'm going to go home and look at mine because I've never noticed it before, but they showed me today in the office. And what that is a webcam. So that if you ever want to Skype somebody, there it is. And so what they did with this man, they had gotten into his computer with a virus, taken his photo, and there it was with the FBI. So, you know, it's just amazing. These guys are really, really good. They're pros. They're pros.
Money, please, I'm in trouble, and please don't tell my parents. Don't tell my parents that I'm in Mexico and I got in trouble and I need $1,800 right now. I need you to go to the bank and send it to me. Go down to CVS and get me a green dot card really quick because I'm in trouble and I need you to help me. Will you please do that, Grandma? Please, please. Yay! Passed, okay. Grandpa, please help me. I'm in trouble. Don't tell my mother. She'll kill me.